I must confess that I'm looking nerd fresh. Minty clean like Chris. Sidewalks light up when I step. Batman symbol on my chest. Bruce Wayne fly fresh. So fresh. I'm fresh. Nerd fresh.
What's up, Internet World? It's your boy Casino. We're right here on Street Nerdz TV. This is our newest episode of Are You Theorious? A weekly show we do where we talk about various theories that we got for upcoming seasons of TV shows, upcoming movies, or overall series and themes in general in various movies and cinema and comic books, you name it. So today we're going to be talking about all of the new stuff coming up with the MCU in Phase 4. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard the news that was released at Comic-Con, all of the new upcoming movies coming out, the TV shows coming up on Disney+. A whole lot of information they dumped and dropped this past weekend. So we're going to get into it. We're going to start off with Kaz. He's going to be covering the first two. Kaz, what you think, man?
Well, y'all got me on Scarlet. My bad. Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson Widow.
Scarlett Johansson Widow. Got me on Black Widow and Thor. Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
I don't know if I like that title. I hope they change that one.
It does sound a little risque, doesn't it?
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, you had the Jane Foster character in both Thors at the beginning, but then Ragnarok, she was just written off real quick. Oh, it's the mutual dumping, you know what I mean? And now you just happen to shoehorn her back in, and I don't know. But I digress. With Black Widow, I don't really feel like it's going to change the MCU much other than introducing new characters that we might see later on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I heard that it's basically gonna be her going back to like the Red Room and all that, and some of the other spies she grew up with, and one she even fights with and calls sister.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, and in the comic books, that character actually becomes another person that takes on the Black Widow persona.
yeah, that's what I had heard too. So other than that, I don't see it changing too much. But yeah, if it's basically because I heard other movies and other things, the stories for the TV shows, they're planning to introduce the new wave of like the new Hawkeye or the new Captain America and everything. So I feel like that, that's the only thing that's gonna change is they're introducing the new Black Widow. In a sense.
So you think her sister is going to be the one that takes on the mantle?
Yeah, she's gonna end up taking over the Black Widow mantle. Other than that, again, I don't see it changing the MCU too much. We're just setting up the new Avengers, really, if you ask me. But what will be cool, I think, is that it's rumored they're gonna be in Budapest, and we might actually see Hawkeye make an appearance and see what happened. Maybe even Nick Fury too, because he had mentioned Budapest and Captain Marvel. So yeah, other than a couple nice Easter eggs and nods, I don't see it changing too much. So I don't have much theories on where it's gonna go from there.
I don't know. The whole sister taking over the mantle is news to me. I like that.
Well, okay, I digress. But when it comes to Thor, I feel over the time of his time with Guardians and all that, I feel we're gonna get back to Rip Thor.
Okay.
I feel he's gonna
your personal favorite Thor.
I'm just saying it was something I was aspiring to be in the gym. So anyway.
And now he's something I aspire to be in my living room.
Bro Thor, which is what he's being dubbed on the internet, Bro Thor. But anyway. I feel we're gonna get him. He's gonna be doing his thing, and it's more of a hope than a theory, but I'm hoping they keep him as the main guy until close to the end, say the last 45, 30 minutes, something like that, before Jane Foster takes over. Okay. You know what I mean? Before the whole transition. So, nothing against Jane Foster being the new Thor, but just wasn't my comic book Thor. So. I don't know nothing about it, but I'll watch it. I'll be down. I'm gonna give you money, Mark.
You're getting our money, so do whatever you want.
Money. But other than that, I think anything else, Thor has already opened up along as well as Guardians. Thor's already opened up so many doors for the cosmos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We saw Sakaar and just other spots, and the way he said it's just another spaceship. So he's used to it. You know.
This is a Sunday afternoon for him.
Yeah. So there's just more to what's out there that we haven't even touched on yet. You know. That's what's going to be interesting with Captain Marvel too, even though it wasn't slated, we know it's coming.
Yeah, when it does come, it's going to come.
Yeah. So other than that, I think, we're just going to get more Easter eggs for future movies through this new Thor. Other than that, not much.
All right, that's what's up. So y'all heard Kaz's thoughts on what may be happening in Thor: Love and Thunder, and then what's coming up in the Black Widow, which is basically a prequel movie. But all right, there you go. Let us know what you think down in the comments. All right, so Stretch, you got the next round of movies, man. What movies are coming?
Well, let's go ahead and start off with the more obscure one, Shang-Chi, master of the martial arts. In the comic books, he is son of a criminal overlord, Fu Manchu. Horribly racist name. But I think for this movie, they're going to do more of he's the son of the Mandarin. The Mandarin wants him to take over his criminal empire. The 10 rings, which we've seen in Iron Man, they're the ones that kidnapped Tony. We saw them again in Ant-Man. They're trying to buy the Yellow Jacket technology.
That's right,
The guy had it. They've already established that the Mandarin is out there and hailed the real man. All hail the king. The shorts, which if you haven't seen, they're hysterical. Check them out. So that's going to be the big deviation, I think, from the comics. I think that this is going to be like a father-son generational type tale. Hopefully with a lot of really awesome wire fu, kung fu.
And I didn't even
tiger, hidden dragon stuff.
I didn't even think about until Kaz when you guys were talking about it a little bit earlier. I didn't even think about the connections of going back to Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
And how this will just bring that whole storyline.
The 10 rings have been there for now. If they go literal from the comics, where the Mandarin had 10 magic rings and he was able to use them for power and they came from an alien ship. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe not. Since they're going a little more realistic on this, but they are introducing aliens, so it is possible. It's up in the air. I think.
Or maybe like the Vulture and his crew from the Spider-Man.
They just steal it from.
And they make their own tech out of that stuff that was left over.
That could be cool too. I like that. It does make it a little bit wonky with the timeline because they were in operation with Iron Man. Yeah. And that was predating all the high-tech stuff. Yeah. But I mean, still, even if they're just on the cutting edge, I can explain why they wanted Tony to begin with. He's cutting edge, so they want him. So that's Shang-Chi. My big theory is that he's going to be the son of the Mandarin, and we're going to see a father-son duke it out kung fu style. Next one up is the Eternals. So if you're familiar with the comic books, DC has the New Gods with Darkseid and the Gods of Apocalypse and Highfather, the Gods of New Genesis.
Created by Jack Kirby.
The man himself. He did the same thing for Marvel. They were the Eternals. The Celestials, who we see destroying the planet in Guardians, and their severed head in Guardians. And the other Ego is a Celestial, also in Guardians too. So we've seen the Celestials. They're the big robot giant looking things that destroy the planet. Apparently they went around primordial galaxy and seeded life on a bunch of different planets, including Earth. And
they experimented with the early life here on Earth.
They experimented with early humans on Earth, and they created a superior, awesome race, and then the junk that was left over became the Deviants. Actually, in the comics, Thanos carries Deviant DNA.
Right. That's why he looks the way he looks.
So even though everybody on his planet looks more or less human.
Right.
I really don't have a lot as far as theories. I was not a huge Eternals fan. Growing up reading the comics, they popped up a few times here and there, but I was not a huge fan. However, just star-studded cast. Look up the IMDb page. These are all A-list actors now, before they do a Marvel movie, and they're not just doing bit parts like Robert Redford or Samuel L. Like they're actually being casted in the main parts. The ones that come to mind immediately is Angelina Jolie and what is her name? Selma Hayek is going to be in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Selma Hayek. So I mean,
Which
perfect, beautiful people.
Yeah,
so.
fits the whole theme
Fits
of
the
what
whole-
the comic
yeah.
book was about.
So-
Like the most beautiful of the most beautiful.
I don't really have a lot of theories other than I think it's going to be good and it's going to be a way to introduce us into that super mega science and technology that Jack Kirby was so great at doing.
Yeah, I think it'll show also a lot of the history for the cosmic side. It's going to be basically a cosmic Marvel cosmic for dummies.
Right. And that can only be a good thing, especially if they're going that way in the future.
Right.
Last but not least,
Your fave.
my absolute favorite, best for last, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is a title straight out of Lovecraft. Like, this is, they are going to, I feel like, and I want them to go completely crazy with this. I want him going to the dimensions where rocks have eyeballs and teeth.
It's
and
got to
they're
be a
running around
horror. It's
on
got to
Well,
be
they
horror.
said it's going to be his
Yeah.
first horror movie.
Marvel's
first horror movie.
I want all that. I want straight up old god Lovecraftian horror with Doctor Strange. We're ready for it. We're used to the world by now, and it's gonna also have Scarlet Witch, which in the comic books she actually develops chaos magic outside of her mutation.
Yep.
So that introduces a whole new thing, and he can take her on as maybe a protege or maybe something that has to be stopped. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like to see it more as a protege, like, this stuff's getting too real for me to handle by myself. I know there's this other person. I felt that she has a connection, but she's got to step up because otherwise the world's gonna end. And I mean, there you go. That's your plot.
She's also not even reached her full potential yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, every movie we see her bump it
Yeah,
up even a little
she's
bit
doing
every
more and
bit.
more.
She took Thanos on by herself, and it was
Yeah.
only because he rained fire down on her that it stopped. I mean, so Scarlet Witch is awesome. Doctor Strange is awesome. The two of them together in a horror movie where they're fighting ancient gods from other dimensions. Gravy. I love it. Not even gonna make a prediction, not even gonna make a theory. That's what I want. Just show me that. We'd be good.
Give us more like that. Tripping Mysterio.
Yeah.
Tripping with the
All
star
that
coming
stuff.
out half
Or
zombie
when he's-
skull,
when he's going
yeah.
through the multiverse in the first Doctor Strange.
Oh,
and
man,
She's like, here, let me show you what real magic is. And he's like going through all those dimensions.
The mirror dimension.
Spend
Yeah,
10,
that's
15
trippy.
minutes into any one of those and I'll be good.
Right.
So those are the three movies that I had that I'm looking forward to. Again, they're so out there. They literally do anything and go anywhere with them, so it's difficult to pin down a theory. But let us know what you think in the comments, and if I missed anything or you know anything that we don't, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So these guys covered most of the movies that are going to be coming out, and we're pretty much sticking with what we know for sure that they have put up with an actual, release time frame, right?
2020 to 2021.
Exactly. That's why we didn't really dive into Blade. We know that Blade was announced. Looking forward.
We'll do that.
Yeah, looking forward to that, but because that's so far down, we're not going to really jump into that just yet. There's other things ahead, so we know in the comments, don't beat us up. We know all of those movies are coming. But I'm going to be handling most of the TV shows, so I'm going to go down the order. I'm going to go on the order of, so the first will be the ones that maybe not going to say I'm not interested in all, but if I were to miss a few episodes here and there, it's not going to be a big deal, and then I'll work my way to the shows that I want to see the most, right?
Okay.
All right, so we'll start off, and this is only at the top of the list because I have no idea how they're going to do this show, but WandaVision.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm really pumped up to see the Doctor Strange movie that she's supposed to be in that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will, it could open so many other doors for the direction where her character goes. Like you mentioned, they have not explored the full potential of her powers. She does gain all of that chaos magic later on. And in the comics, and that's literally a lot of how she even gets her name. her power set is so hard to explain even from the comic books. You know, it's going to be interesting where they go. But because of that, and then because Vision is dead technically in the MCU right now, as much as an android could be dead.
He's a robot.
Yeah,
it's like calling your toaster dead. It just needs to be repaired.
Yeah, fix it. But so, you know, maybe his database has been dumped back down somewhere. They may go that route. But to me, that would be the more boring route that they could go if you know the full extent of her powers. So my theory for WandaVision is going to be this. Somehow, a lot like if anybody read House of M storyline, she's going to create her own alternate reality where her and Vision live, but it's going to be various things that are basically intruding this new reality that she's created, trying to pull her back.
Her guilt and her suffering basically creates a new reality. Yeah.
Man, it would make for an interesting TV show, because the one thing that I think that's going to connect all of the Disney Plus shows to the MCU is they're going to be the backstory and the back motivation to what makes the movies happen.
Right.
A lot like how the first 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were.
Hopefully a little better executed.
Yeah.
They don't give it away, but they provide a backstory.
Yes.
So you don't get a spoiler, or it's not a flip of a coin, which one do I watch first to spoil the other.
Right.
Because that happened in season 2.
That definitely did happen in season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think they'll learn from those lessons. Also, they'll be able to control it more. ABC fought with Disney a lot on, you know, what they could do to make
I
it.
didn't know that.
Well, yeah, they were trying to get the ratings to boost, and there's a lot going on. But so with WandaVision, I think that would be the most interesting thing they could do. It's the perfect outlet to do it on a TV show, because you can just string out all sorts of crazy episodes, and they don't really have to have a stringed story throughout it if you set it up as this is her just grieving and she's created this new reality for herself. So I think that's what they'll do with that. That's my theory on WandaVision. Really don't know where else they could go with that. If you got some ideas, let me know. All right, next show that I'm going to run down, and I'm actually interested in this show, but I think they'll be limited with how far they can go with it, and that's going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
All right, so, and I did think this before I read these things, but I will go ahead and say this is what's kind of being reported that the show is going to be about. I thought this was the route they're going to go. It's going to be all about Falcon not wanting to take on the moniker of Captain America.
Okay.
And I think the show is going to deal a lot with that, and it's also going to deal with him just getting accustomed to being that character. Because like Kaz was saying, what he thinks is going to happen with Black Widow, I actually feel that that's going to be the running theme through all the TV shows. It's going to be them prepping the new Avengers.
The one's taking over.
Exactly. That's why they don't have an Avengers movie on the release date scheduling yet.
Sure.
Because we can get everybody familiarized with these new cast of characters that we're going to introduce through all of our new mediums. And we'll introduce them through movies and TV and get people prepared to know who they are. And then boom, we can launch it all into the major movies with the new Avengers title.
Right.
And then that's where you have, so Falcon would have gone through all of his dealings of, you know, am I worthy to take on the moniker of Captain America? Getting accustomed to dealing with the various governments that still have the Sokovia Accords, I guess, or some form of it.
Right.
Version of it, yeah.
Exactly. And
Does
it's
the
all,
government even want him to be Captain America?
hey, you know, and then you tie in the fact that he's running around with a former known Russian assassin. I mean,
Manchurian candidate,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's going to be about the approval, or not the approval, the proving of one character and the redemption of another.
I mean, that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's like, then make it like a buddy cop show, right? Keep it entertaining, keep it light, but with
Captain America's getting too old for this stuff.
hey, you know, or no, Bucky's the one that's too old.
Oh, that's right. Bucky's too old
Flip
for
it on
this
his head,
stuff. Yeah.
right? He's kind of like, oh, you know, I don't really care about redeeming myself, but I do want you to do better, and you're putting your you're putting your hope in me, so I guess I got to do it to make you look good.
Right.
There's so many different ways they can go with that, but I do feel they're a little limited, so I think they're going to kind of keep it very streamlined. Out of all of the shows, that'll be the one I think people either really hate or they love it.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to have a lot of middle ground.
No middle ground. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Next one we'll go over. We're gonna go over Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
Now, the only reason I put Hawkeye higher than Falcon and Winter Soldier is because I love the theory I think they're gonna do is I think they're gonna do that interesting storyline where Hawkeye trains his daughter to take over his job basically.
Right.
And so then they have this great run where it's teacher student and then he trains her. If they run it smart, my opinion, what I feel would be smart would be have her completely trained through the first season, and then when they do the next movie, have Jeremy Renner die.
Okay.
So then she could truly take on the new moniker of Hawkeye. I think
Somebody's gotta die.
Exactly. It will make it'll introduce in. They definitely need more female characters, so they introduce another strong female lead.
Sure.
It would be a cool throwback to have the new Black Widow, if they really introduce her that way, team up with Clint's daughter, and then they kind of create their own new friendship similar to their parents. Right. So then they're really good. They're really good friends. I really think they could do some interesting things with the daughter taking on the moniker, and then they could have her go on a whole set of adventures and different things. And I think they can take that character in so many different directions. If anybody hasn't read the 2014 run of Hawkeye, 2015 that they introduced with all new Marvel.
All new Marvel.
Yeah, read that run of Hawkeye. Great story. I think they'll do that one, and it was such good material to draw from. I just think it'll be a really good show. All right, so let's see. We ran down 3.
Yep.
All right, so now we're down to my personal ones that I am really, really looking forward to seeing.
All right, lay it on us.
What if?
Oh, here it is.
Yes.
All right.
Really?
Oh man, come on.
No. I'm not questioning this. I'm just before the other one.
Yeah.
Like, no. I mean, like, what if the other one you're
What's
looking
the
more
other
forward to than what if?
I'm sorry. What's the last one?
Loki?
Oh, thank you. See, I forgot Loki.
Okay.
Yes, Sonya, I forgot Loki. All right, yeah, Loki comes before What If. See,
All right.
messed myself up.
I was about to
All
say.
right, now Loki is my next one. Here's why. He was such a great character through the MCU and so funny, and then by the Loki they're gonna do is clearly gonna be the one that Jack the Stone in the middle of Endgame.
The God of
One
Mischief.
right
Yeah,
after,
and disappeared.
right after Avengers when he gets beaten up by the Hulk.
Yeah, so he's still bad, smart mouth, despicable Loki.
Yep.
Like you said, the God of Mischief. So we're getting that Loki, not the one that started to learn his lesson or any of that. No, he's still a bit of a
Redeemed
scumbag.
Loki.
Yeah, no, we get scumbag Loki. And he's got this, he's got his hands on a stone, so he has the ability to hop all over the place. Just think of the different crazy stuff he could get into. We've seen all of the cosmic side and the different places he could go and just the stuff he can get himself into.
He could
Imagine.
just go real weird with that.
Just have fun.
everywhere he wants. Just
Yeah,
be-
wherever.
He'd be like, it'd almost be like following an anti-hero.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
as he gets into one mischief and out of it.
One thing after
Well, there
another.
was a leaked set photo. It showed him like in the mid 70s or 60s or something like that. So
And then think of so they set up some really interesting time travel things with Endgame. So is he hopping from different timelines? Is he hopping through different dimensions?
Right.
Like is he hopping through different alternate universes?
I mean, at this point, they could go anywhere.
Exactly, which it opens up the potential for what they could do with the Loki show is like I don't know. I'm really looking forward to
Limitless.
that. I think depending on how they pull it off, it could be really fun. I really think if they just have him hopping around all over the place and they're pretty smart. If they tie in little Easter eggs, he becomes the permanent Easter eggs throughout all of the future movies and shows. Something he did is affecting something here, and
Right.
you just see just the tiniest of thread connecting it to the TV show.
like almost the opposite of Quantum Leap.
Yeah, yeah.
Striving
Dude, hey,
to take out what was once put right.
that would make for a great Loki show, right?
Alright.
So I just think like where they could. I don't have an ironclad theory. Yeah, that's better than any theory I came up with.
Man.
But
Great
I just
reference.
think the potential of what they could do is amazing. Like they could have a lot of fun with that. All right. So Now we get to
Now
my
we
final.
this one. Okay.
And What If is the #1 show on Disney. It's the reason I'm even going to order Disney Plus.
It was
Because,
pretty much up there for me.
man,
Yeah.
for anybody that never read What If, it's basically what every YouTube nerd show, every YouTube show about movies and comic books and anything
Before YouTube.
before the internet, where they just took stories and were just like, what if Captain America was a Nazi agent? Like, they literally had that episode, that issue back in sometime in the 80s.
Classic issues, if I can just rattle off
Go
a
ahead.
few. What if who the rival of Peter Parker?
Green Goblin.
No. High school rival.
Oh, Flash Thompson.
What if Flash Thompson was bitten by the radioactive spider?
Oh, yeah, that was good.
What if Spider-Man had never become a crime fighter and he just became a famous person, a movie star? What if the Fantastic Four all had the same powers? What if Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four? What if Iron Man was trapped in King Arthur time? What if
Wolverine was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, oh, that was a good
I
one.
had What If Punisher was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
So, you get it.
That's what we're working with.
That's what the What If comic book series was. Famous characters that you love to hate. Crazy scenario, bam, run it. Alternate timelines, alternate universes, you name it. They've been doing this stuff since, when did that start? Was it the late 70s?
Or late 60s.
Late 60s.
And it ran until the late 70s, and then it was revamped again from the early 90s to, I think, the 2000s.
Okay. Feel free to fact check us on that.
Yeah, please fact check me
Right or
on
wrong.
that. I may be wrong on some of those dates, so
But-
I'm not crying real news.
But it was one of the best comic book series that Marvel had done ever, in my opinion. Just great material. You could just pick up an issue out of nowhere. You didn't have to buy each and every one of them to follow this story. It was just a quick in and out, really interesting ideas. So that's what they're doing this TV show on. There's no theory I could tell you that they're not gonna come up with if they do this right. Literally, what they should do is comb through all of the YouTube different presenters and everybody that does these types of videos, and hey, I like that. Can we use that? Hey, well, let's run with this. Let's run with that.
Just to interject real quick, I had heard that what they're going to do the first season is going to deal with, the first 23 movies. They're touching on those. So it was already hinted. The one episode is what if Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum instead of
This
that.
is going to be all animated, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So
That's what I heard.
that's pretty dope though if they do that. So
You wanna reveal who's tying all this
yeah,
together?
so it's all animated, so that will, I don't know how you feel about animation. I think it's either really, really good or, it could be really bad, depending especially on who they get. I hope they change animators per
I hope the
episode.
style changes per
Right.
episode. Yeah.
We don't know yet. Of course, they haven't announced that, but that would really give another feel to the fact that you're watching something different each time.
Like what they did in the Spider-Verse. Everybody
Yeah.
had their own little animation style
Absolutely.
within its own animation style.
Yeah, so if they do something like that, that'll really make it very interesting, because then they could do some of those noir type things where they were black and white, or then they could do the Mangaverse stuff that they did. I mean, Marvel's
Yeah.
tried on so many different hats of animation and
They could easily
comic
pull it
style.
off.
Yeah, so that will make it interesting. But what I'm really looking forward to is the fact that Jeffrey Wright, from Westworld, if you've seen that, hopefully if you haven't, definitely go watch that. Jeffrey Wright is a great actor. He's been in a lot of really great movies and TV shows. I could run down his IMDb off the top of my head, but we'll save that for another episode. But he's playing the Watcher, Uatu, the big bald head kind of baby looking dude that you see pop up in a lot of the different Marvel comic books.
In specifically Guardians of the Galaxy
Yes.
2, when he's zipping through and Stan Lee's talking to the big, bald, blue-dressed guys.
Big bald baby head looking guys. Yeah.
That.
All right, there you go.
The Watcher.
Yeah, so he's going to be voiced by Jeffrey Wright. I think that's just another added element to what is already, to me, one of the most exciting ideas and shows that they could do. I, not in a million years, would have thought that they were going to do this show. When that was announced, take my money. Here.
Right.
I can't give it to you fast enough.
Right.
So that's kind of what I think what's going to happen with the Disney Plus TV shows, what's announced so far. With the exception of the What If show, I think each one of the shows is going to be introducing the new wave of heroes and heroines that we're going to get, and it's going to be setting up the new threads and plot lines that we're going to follow through the next phase of movies, probably for the next several phases of movies. So that's kind of my theory on that. And that's our overall theory about what's happening for Phase 4 of the MCU. Don't forget, leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think. Leave us your theory. Tell us what you think about our theories. Tell us if you think we're full of crap. Hey, hateful or nice, leave it down below. That means you watched it.
Let the evil flow.
Let your hate out. Don't forget, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. Also, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Street Nerdz with a Z. Street Nerdz TV with a Z. Y'all know what it is. Peace.
I'm fresh, nerd fresh, so fresh. No matter how I dress, it's me I must impress. So then I must confess that I'm looking nerd fresh.